we cover quite a far-reaching local authorities, housing. The RPs and BPs are retail parks and business parks. So we do reach out to pretty much the majority of the type of grounds maintenance contracts that are out there and who do need solutions. That's what we do. I'll summarise it in terms of cleansing, grounds maintenance, arboriculture, landscaping. And weed control is central to all of those. We have three, of all of our policies, we have a commitment and aims to the environment, to the safety of everybody, and to the quality. Why is it important to us? Well, as per the Andy Frost's words there, trying to reduce chemical usage is really, really important. There is a group of people here from Lewis today who are keen on moving that motion, I think was the word that was used earlier, into practice, and we're very keen to find a solution with them. Lewis is very much environmentally friendly and thinking ahead, and I think our neighbours in Eastbourne as well as in Brighton, I think, you know, personally I think there's an opportunity to collaborate because everybody's under the same pressures of having to reduce their overheads. There's got to be a solution and we have to find one, and I just personally think it's collaboration. So what do we do now? We adopt both the cultural methods that you've heard about before. I've learned a few new ones today, so I've written those down to take back. We break it down into softscapes, so your shrub beds, your hedges and the like. That is our approach in terms of manual, cultural and the wood chip. And then on the hardscapes, which is pretty much what we're talking about in the majority today, it's, we'll be honest, it's the knapsack approach that we've been doing traditionally, as well as on quad bikes. And I thought it was good to have a, you know, PA1, PA6 AW. You can work near a watercourse, and a PA2 AW, but it's just not good enough anymore. You know, it's all well and good having that as an awareness, and the operator, you know, take care of the environment. But as you've just said earlier with the drains and the like, you know, you can't. Damage limitation is really important. So I think we need to step away from that. We use chemicals. A lot of our practices are driven by the contract specifications that we have. However, most of our clients, it's fair to say, are willing to go more bespoke. What is appropriate in their area? It might be a mix of things. It might be chemicals. It might be foam stream. It might be cultural. So it just depends on the client type and the geography and the makeup of it. In terms of considerations, naturally enough, we need to consider the public, whether it's signage, advance notification, courtesy from our staff, as well as the policies that we need to follow. And the reason I've put these in is just say we are a typical grounds maintenance company. So the other people who've been mentioned earlier and have been up on the screen, if we all take a bit of a responsibility, I think, again, it can be a bit of a catalyst. Obvious things. I forgot about the bees earlier, I have to say, you know, when that was mentioned. So it's not just protecting, you know, people, it's actually, and it's not just protecting wildlife, it's encouraging wildlife. You know, let's do the opposite, let's promote it.
Working with Lewis District Council and indeed the University of Brighton that I look after as well, we've been trying to find an alternative to using glyphosate. And again, sort of cynically, we came across foam stream, and you think, okay, it's you know, another idea. Let's give her a go, as they say. The first unit we had, Jim and I did tear our hair out a little bit because there was a few technical issues with it, to the point where we said, sod this, we're not going to use it. We can't. And in all fairness to Weed in Tech, they were straight down here, no problem, and they sent us a brand new unit to use. We were trained up to use it. Me being sort of fairly mechanically minded, was able, yeah, oh God, yeah, was able to pick it up really quickly, actually. You've obviously got your initial checks to do with it, as you can see there, and you have to wait for the burner to warm up and stuff, but once it's actually operating and the foam is flowing, it's really easy to use. Now, again, is it going to be really that effective? That's what we said to ourselves. You can see from the pictures up there. Sorry, they're all of me. Yeah, so we started using foam stream, and you can almost see the effect straight away, actually. And it's almost like when you're cooking greens, you get that sort of aroma of you know, Sunday dinner cooking greens. It's quite good, really. And as you can see, the effect is almost instantaneous. So Jim and I carried on using it. The machine was absolutely trouble-free, to be fair. We only had to fill it up with diesel once, I think, didn't we, in the time that we used it. It was, you know, it lasted an awful long time, actually. The water was the only thing that sort of ran out. Again, I think it was about an hour's foam stream, wasn't it, with a maybe a little bit more on that, so depending on where we're using it. Now, that picture there, that's in the railway lands, and it's a sort of a what do they call it, a nature reserve sort of habitat, green flag area. So they said, we'd like to see how it works and edging up our paths and stuff, because we can't use glyphosate there. So we prior to that, they were hand weeding, so we thought, again, we'll give it a go. Note that I'm in my high-vis and work boots, gentleman there in his shorts and stuff. So what I'm saying was, that's how safe it is to. What I'm saying is, that's how safe it is to use. That was the result of edging up the path there, so all that we had to do was just to scrape that off. So, and that was really thick grass, you know, very, very knitted grass. So, so that, you know, was really good. So I think, you know, to be honest, Foam Stream Weeding Tech looked after us really well because of the issues that we'd had with the machine. Sorry, I'll keep looking up, looking for a prompt there. They let us have the machine for a little bit longer, another couple of weeks free of charge, so thanks very much for that, and it was really good. So, does it work? Yes, I believe it does. As I say, it's not a systemic application, but there was minimal regrowth on the bits that we tested. So, in fact, you know, a couple of my guys went back to West Quay and scraped it all up and swept it up. Job done. There was nothing further came up. It was great on tennis courts, moss control, fantastic. So yeah, I think the principle certainly does work. Was it easy to use? Yes, I think once we got used to it. I suppose if the only thing is, it's getting used to the hose, if you like, because it does come in several lengths. So it's learning to use hose management, which, you know, Jim sort of nearly strangled me with it once, but I got caught up with it. But that's, you know, that was. Yeah, exactly. But no, joking aside, as long as you can do hose management and you plan where you're going to be. Technically, you can do it on your own, but Jim and I, we did it together, especially in the park, so you had a banksman with it as well. And so, you know, it worked well for us. Public reaction was 100%, if I'm really honest with you, and sort of working with local authority. We do take quite a pasting as a contractor for the services that we provide. I'm not saying that we do a bad job. I'm just saying, you know what the public can be like. But as Fraser said earlier on, you know, you go into a local park, people put their dogs on leads and they come up to you a little bit nervous. What are you doing? You know, foam stream, hot foam. I could put my hand in it and rub it around my face, just say that's how safe it is. And actually, we engaged into quite some sort of long conversations with the public. So
overwhelmingly good, the reaction from the public. Everyone was really interested in the product. And,
yeah.
A big thumbs up. So I was concerned that we have a negative reaction from some people, but we didn't get one negative comment the whole time.
Yeah. So I suppose you know, if there is anything against it, it's purely because we do a lot of housing areas. Is that me? Housing areas. I mean, whilst we encompass a lot of parks and open spaces, the housing side of it is more intricate. So we would have to look at perhaps how we would use foam stream best for that. But I would have said that 80% of the experience that we had was positive, and we're sort of hoping to look. Well, it's Jim's babies, looking to sort of partner up with maybe some other councils to see if we can purchase a machine and move this forward. So from my perspective, it has a thumbs up.
Excellent. Thanks, Mark. We didn't want to talk through the slides, so we kind of left you to read them. If you've covered the constraints, which Mark has, and I've just got that picture of Jim strangling him at the moment, so keep that one. Challenges. Hosepipe ban. That kind of popped up this morning when we were editing this. You need to think about these sort of things. It's all well and good talking about foam stream and water and all the rest, but that's something we need to have a plan B for, I guess. Hence, it's not what's a silver bullet. There's two new words for me today. So yeah, some challenges.
It's worth noting. Fraser did tell us that the way it operates in some of their other contracts is that the operators get a water hydrant extraction licence, which makes it operationally a lot easier to use, because it does go through water quite quickly, and if you're having to go back to your depot to fill up, it sort of does take a bit. It would take a lot more time, but it works well where they can get an extraction licence. So it's something we're going to be looking into.
I think we've said it. Yeah. Quick, cheap, maybe not quick, maybe not cheap, maybe not effective, but that's the short-term view. That's the sort of narrow-minded view. It does have a future. We weren't actually going to share pound signs with you today because I think we need to drill down even more into understanding what is the best way of paying for this. But I have used the words earlier of, whether it's a consortium, collaboration, however you want to call it, the more people that have a need for it, it's on their agenda, it's a policy, it's something that they have a legal duty to, then, dare I say, the investment from a shared perspective will be more cost effective for everybody. It's how you timetable the use of the resource will be the key bit. So we've got a bit of work to do on that. I guess my parting shot on that side of things, not being dismissive of it, is we'll do our bit of work. We've got the connection with these guys at Pan Sussex, and we're happy to share that with people in the room if they're interested.